Katherine Parr was Henry VIII's sixth and final wife, and was his queen for 3.5 years. Henry saw the intelligent, experienced and outgoing Catherine as a consort and companion, a contrast to the teenage Catherine Howard, who had been wife number 5. Catherine reconciled Henry with his 2 daughters, Mary and Elizabeth, and this had huge implications for the Tudor dynasty, and Catherine was a key player in Henry's decision to restore them to the line of succession. She helped shape England's allies abroad. Catherine's friendship with her stepdaughter Mary fostered good relations with Mary's cousin, the Holy Roman Emperor King Charles V of Spain, who instructed his ambassadors to stay on good terms with the Queen. She also served as Regent General while the King waged war in France in 1544. Catherine was a passionate supporter of religious reform and a keen patron of religious scholars. She even wrote a book of her own, a first for an English queen. But Catherine's influence and beliefs made her enemies at court. Some members of the court felt threatened by the idea of further Protestant influence in the English church. With the king's health deteriorating and the underage Prince Edward set to inherit the throne, there was concern over Catherine's influence on Henry. They knew that they would need to break her hold on the king in order to have his ear. Due to the pain from his illnesses and injuries, Henry VIII was patient, and his behaviour and mood could be unpredictable. Fond of Catherine, he was still a religious conservative at heart and became irritated at her passionate debates about religious reform. Unaware of his growing displeasure, she continued for some while behind her back he vented about being taught by my wife. In 1546, her enemies, led by Stephen Gardiner, the Bishop of Winchester, the man who'd married Parr and Henry, took decisive action. Gardiner and his co-conspirators searched the rooms of Catherine's ladies for radical religious books, and imprisoned and tortured Anne Askew, shown here, a Protestant preacher. Anne refused to implicate the Queen and was later burned for heresy. Deterred, Gardiner presented his evidence to Henry and secured a warrant for Catherine's arrest. Luckily, Catherine's allies were able to inform her of the plot. She took to her bed, claiming to be terribly ill. Henry arrived at her beds to find her beside herself with grief, asking if he were angry with her. Catherine promised that she only argued with Henry to learn from him and distract him from his illness. She also had her ladies discreetly remove any radical books. When Henry later asked for Catherine to contribute to a debate, she responded she was a silly, poor woman, and the king was her only anchor and supreme head and governor here on earth, next to God, and deferred to the king's judgment. Remarkably, Henry forgave Catherine, stating that they were perfect friends again, and when the men arrived to escort Catherine to the Tower of London, Henry angrily sent them away. And can't you just imagine the smile on Catherine's face as he did?